There he is. Wow. Talk about cutting it close.
Sorry.
We're alive. Hello. Don't say anything bad.
Why?
Hey, everybody. It is Bronze and Modern Gods. It's a live episode. Oh, you caught me with my old man readers on. Shh, nobody saw that, okay? That did not happen. No one saw that.
Oh, we're extra super.
Say that again?
We're extra super prepared today, aren't we?
I know. Well, we only had a few hours to prepare.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. I see people in the chat already. Steve Bradley is here. Yes, we got a live show. We got a live one happening. There's a new name. Hi, what's up, BW? Good evening to you. Vexer 4000. How are you? Everybody's gathering in. Richard, how's it going?
It's going good. Good. How was your holiday?
It was good. Bring your mic a little closer to you if you can. There you go. Now talk to me.
How's that?
Oh, much better. Yes. Chat, tell me, Forrest, I can see you. Give me a thumbs up if we sound good. All right. Thank you.
All
Hey,
right.
special live episode. We thought we'd come on and do some live viewer mail that we have from the mailbag, since we haven't done that in a couple of weeks. We missed Monday because, it was a holiday. So we thought we'd take some time off and be with our families. Gross. Just kidding. Dino is here live. Hey, happy holidays to you. Todd, what's going on? Zach, how old were you both when you first felt shame? Fresh out of the womb, perhaps?
Yeah.
Mark is here. Boom shakalaka. All right, we have some viewer mail. Let's just get right to it. We have it here. The first one, Richard, you have, and it is from our friend Charlie Dog. And I'm going to bring it up here and it's going to cover us. Ready?
Okay.
Boom. Go for it.
Richard, the next time you're in a Chris Claremont signing queue, have your copies of and questions about War is Hell ready. That should grab his attention. I sympathize. I was in line for a famous San Francisco writer once, and his attention was monopolized by a single fan who was keen to show off his knowledge of the author's works without regard to the rest of us. Yes, that is a personality type. John and Richard and Evan, may you have a great festive season with your loved ones. I'm off to reread The Punisher Red Christmas. Yeah, thanks, Charlie. What are you going to say something, John?
Have you read that Punisher Red Christmas?
I haven't read it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. It's. I have run into that personality type several times now. I was in line to talk to John Parent. Is it John Parent? What's
Parent? Dan Parent.
Dan Parent. Thank you, Dan Parent. And stood in line. Texting John. Stood in line. There's this one girl who had a Josie and the Pussycats wallet out in her hand, and she was talking like she knew everything about him and about all the characters. That's great. I'm glad you have a deep interest in that. But some people just want to say hi. And I stood there for an hour. I wandered around a little bit, and she was still there. And that's you got to be sympathetic to the rest of the people that are there in the show. I know you get excited about meeting your idols, but realize other people are idolizing these people as well. So have a little courtesy and take your time. But then when it's time to go, it's time to go.
It's also kind of like, first of all, I hate Q&As anywhere. Director Q&As, Q&As at a convention, whatever, because 98% of the time, people that are asking the question really don't want to know the answer to the question. They just want to show off how much they know and how in tune they are with the creator, and they have some delusion that they're going to get discovered by asking a really insightful question. I hate Q&As. Those are the same thing. I hate them. My first piece of viewer mail tonight is from Mark Vega. We're going to disappear. Ready? We're going to be covered.
Okay.
Boom. Mark Vega says, good thing I kept selling a lot of my books throughout 2021, 2022. I'm glad I didn't hold on to so many thinking they would continue to appreciate in value. Better let go of some books for a little profit than no profit at all. I still lost some money, but not nearly as much as what I could have lost if I kept all those other books. I feel bad for some people that bought FF number 5 at its peak. I wish I could see you, Richard, because I've been seeing some deals on IG. It's almost back to what it was in 2020. Sheesh. Mark, agreed. You know, I think Richard and I were fairly smart in this regard. We got rid of a lot of our Venom 27s and Thor number 5 first. What is Dark Winter? Is that his name?
Oh, yeah, no, Black Winter.
Black Winter, Codex, first appearance of Codex.
God.
Anyone? So yeah, smart move. I would not hold on to much of those moderns very long.
No, but the Silver Age, you talk about FF5. It's, I bought it at a reasonable price. The price has gone up. The price has not come down to what I bought it for. So I think I'm still sitting pretty. Plus, I bought it for me. I mean, this is a collection book. I'm going to be some dire times to see me sell that book. So I'm glad I got it for the price I got it at, because it was affordable to me at the time.
Vexer, the chat. It's good to be nice. Sometimes you just have to interrupt people. I've done it. At the end of the day, the creator probably won't even remember you. Amen. And Frog Brawler. Yeah. Q&As are just bad demos. I agree. Down with Q&As. By the way, we're having a Q&A now. All right. Your next piece of viewer mail is from Julius Maloney, who has words for you.
Yeah. It says, wow, the disrespect. Henry Cavill is not Superman over Christopher Reeve. He is a big part of the legacy of Superman, but Reeves will forever and always be the Superman blueprint by which all other actors will be compared. Disgraceful comparison.
Disgraceful.
Yeah, this is something I'm gonna have to beg to differ with, because I preferred Cavill's portrayal over the portrayal for Reeve, and it's a personal choice. It's what I grew up with Christopher Reeve. I saw the first Superman in the theater. And
well, crap, we grew up with George Reeves.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was going to bring that up. If you want to talk about archetypal characters, George Reeves, I think,
the man with the middle-aged spread.
Yeah, I personally think Henry Cavill, he just exudes that kind of charm, and he's Superman to me. He really is. I'm not going to take away from your liking of Christopher Reeve and anybody else's liking of the other Supermans that have been out over the years. But he's the guy that I look to. And now it's, he poor man. He's not in The Witcher anymore. He's not going to be Superman anymore. Not sure what the future holds for him, but he's a Warhammer 40K player, so he will always have my support.
Can we please recast Hercules in the MCU? Please. I'm just raising my hand for that one. Back to Julius's original point. I am a Christopher Reeve guy. I grew up with, Superman 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. We will not speak about Superman 3 or 4. Richard Pryor, it'll be hilarious. Come on. But I do think Henry Cavill is built like a brick house. Mm-hmm. I'm down. All right. My next piece of viewer mail is from Timothy Markin. Whoa. Timothy says, after all the terrible reviews we're talking about Batman Spawn, I dismissed paying $7 for Batman Spawn #1 until it showed up at my Barnes & Noble. Then I paid $13 for a comic I no longer wanted. Logic does not apply as a comic collector.
It does not.
I have to pop on here to say I did the same thing. Regarding the Maddie Pryor story where Spider-Man has been inserted, Evan brought that up last week. I'm from the Spider-Man camp, and I wasn't asking for Maddie Pryor to be inserted into my Spider books. Two great tastes that don't taste great together. So I feel you, brother. And if their plan is for Spidey fans to buy X-Men and vice versa, it's not working. The entire new volume of ASM is kind of limped along, although I do like the idea of Ben Reilly becoming a villain after that long storyline leading to ASM 900. I think Ben Reilly works better as a villain. We don't need two Spider-Men.
We don't?
Sorry, Miles.
We have more than two Spider-Men.
Sorry, Spider-Punk. I don't know.
Why is Spider-Man... Go ahead.
It's not for us. I have to keep reminding myself that it's not for us
No,
anymore.
it's not. And regardless of the Spider-Verse, why is there so many pre-Spider-Verse spider characters out there that it was inevitable that we would see some kind of, you got Spider-Man 2099, you've got Superior Spider-Man, you've got, the list goes on and on and on of different Spider-Men. And now, the floodgates have been opened with the movie, the animated movies. So yeah.
Yeah. Dino says Kirk Allen is his favorite Superman. Wow, going to the serial.
Yeah.
Love the combination of live action and animation. Boy, am I old. Dino, we're right with you there. And Zach is a George Reeve guy. Vexer says Terry Hatcher will forever be my Lois Lane. To quote David Spade, Terry Snatcher. Whoops. And Frog Brawler shaking his head at people that say it's not working while we're only 50% through. Frog Brawler, what are we talking about? Are we talking about the X-Men Spider-Man crossover? I will say, and Richard, jump in here. I hated Inferno the first time. I wasn't excited about Daredevil fighting vacuum cleaners or mailboxes eating people. Kind of stupid.
A little bit.
Courtney, Richard says, saw the trailer for the new Miles film. Looks great. What do you think? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen the trailer. It's the first one was just so well done. The trailer for the second one shows they're going to follow the same formula of really focusing on Miles and Miles' personal growth, and whatever else happens along the way is going to be just icing on the cake. But yeah, I mean, I really identify with Miles and his parents and the relationship they have. So yeah, the trailer is great. I can't wait. There's going to be 2 movies, which is even better because we know there's going to be 2 movies.
You think UF4 is going to rebound?
Well. Oh yes, we get to summertime, it'll rebound.
Buy him now, guys. Buy him now.
It is.
Frog Crawler is referring to Dark Web.
Oh yeah.
So there we go. Brucifer, I'm going to save this comment for a surprise in a few minutes. So everyone backstage, look at this comment. Hint, hint. And ready to reply to that. But let's finish our viewer mail. The next piece of viewer mail, Richard, is for you from Spider Dogs.
Yeah, by the way, I love Brucifer. That is a great name.
Yes.
Spider Comics. Yeah. Good pick on the 40-year rule. I picked the Spider-Man annual number 16, which is the first appearance of Photon. I really like the pink fade on the cover. Hey, you do you. 1982 late Bronze Era. Consider the competition when looking at that cover, and I think it's a fantastic first appearance. And he brings up some good points here. She gets the entire double-sized annual as her origin issue. Spidey barely gets a panel compared to the standard 1 or 2 panels that other characters get. And I was reading Mantis in Avengers 112 during the week. Not a great intro.
Have you ever read Mantis? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. ASM. Are you going to change your mind about that cover?
I will change my mind about her first appearance. I think you're right. Double-sized annual is a great way to get a first appearance. Still don't like the cover.
I'm with you. Let's take a break for some new comments. John Stiles, how did you two become friends? I'll let you tell the story. I always tell it.
Well, you know what? I was buying comic books. Comic books is a constant thread throughout our relationship. I was buying comic books at a place out in Fairview Park, and it closed. And so I was looking for another place to find comic books, and I found out there is a comic book. There is a butcher,
a meat market, not a singles bar.
Yeah, close to me. So I went out to look at it, and John was behind the counter. I remember he was talking to somebody at the time, and we started talking comic books, and that led to us talking about music. We have incredibly similar tastes in music.
That's what sealed the deal on our friendship, was we started talking about industrial.
Yeah. And so I told John about this cool club I was hanging out with down at the Nina Clubs in Cleveland. And so I dragged him down there one day, and we danced and had good fun, listened to the music. And And we've kept in touch ever since. And John's mom just asked him about every time he comes to town. Do you talk to Richard?
Have you seen Richard?
So yeah, that was back in the 19. Gosh, it had to be 1988.
Sorry, what?
Yeah. So yeah, we've known each other for quite a long time.
We've known each other since 1986, I want to say, maybe 87. I think more 87. I think I had just graduated high school. So that is nutty. All right. My last piece of formal viewer mail is from Charlie Dog again, because he's one of our most active commenters, and he leaves just such great comments. And I believe he's down in Australia, so he's missing this live, so he'll catch us on the replay. Great to see you together live last week, catching the rerun here. Notting Hill Book Exchange was my favorite on my UK trip last year. Definitely recommend it if you guys ever go to London. Apart from some great comics, I also picked up issues of Weird Tales, Richard.
Yeah.
And the complete Chronicles of Conan Centenary edition. And then he talks about My Three Sons. I never watched My Three Sons. So that would come on channel 43 and I would lunge for the channel changer. As soon as I saw the animated feet tap, and I'm like, ah.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that show either.
Hate that show. But thank you, Charlie Dog. All right, we have a lot to catch up on in the live chat. Steve says he discovered Love and Rockets thanks to us. Just picked up the massive box set. It's Steven, awesome. Glad you got it.
Yeah. You will enjoy it. It is a masterpiece of storytelling, in my opinion.
Guillermo really loved this week's episode. Felt really homely. Hey, who you calling homely? And love seeing your friendship. We had a blast. I wish I kind of lived closer to Richard so we can do that every week.
Oh, it's awesome. My wife loves John's husband, and Evan has been a friend of ours for almost as long as John. Actually, as long as John. And his wife is wonderful. And so it's just a great reunion when John comes into town. We get a chance to hang out.
Yes. Frog Brawler has a dark wave bar that he goes to most Friday nights. We have a special guest that can talk about that in a few minutes. Benjamin, hi. Just got one of the Cyberforce signed ash cans. What do you think about ash cans? Waste of money?
No. I like ash cans. Ash cans are previews of typically put out to comic book stores to encourage them to order the series or that particular issue. And they're not the full book. They're typically just a number of pages out of the book. And I like them. They are in some cases the first appearance of certain characters. And
what do you think of those wizard type ash cans that came bagged with wizard?
Oh, that is a little bit more. Yeah,
there's a few that they're not super valuable. They're actually really good. There's a Deadpool half, I think. Is that kind of can? I don't know. I like a few of those. Ergono Mover says, great to hear the origin of your team up at last. Can we call you guys Power Man and Iron Fist? Absolutely. You may call me Luke.
Yes. No, I want to be Luke. I want to
be Luke. Are you kidding? I'll take that. Holy moly, you could be Danny Rand. You can have the money.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I get to yell at the soda machine in the hallway. If you ever read Power Man and Iron, did anybody actually read Power Man? I did.
In the day, I did. Yeah.
Remember he was always fighting with the soda machine in his office. Yes. Steve Bradley, 86. Tim, class of 86.
Oh, okay.
Tim needs a Love and Rockets 24. Good luck. They're expensive, as you can see.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Ergono Mover is watching this live in southeastern Australia. Holy moly, it's Thursday afternoon there, mate. Steve Bradley, John, Richard, did you guys grow up watching the Herculoids, Space Ghost, and Johnny Quest? If so, which one was our favorite?
Johnny Quest. Not even a question.
The first same-sex parents on TV.
Good point. I never thought of it that way. Yeah.
So yes, I was. Hey, Swaggle House is here. Hello, happy holidays. What is going on, buddy? Some great content. He is not dripping it out. He's shooting stuff out every day. Not to be gross. But man,
Yeah, do it in the Swag House.
Yeah, if you're not subscribed to Swags, please do. It's good stuff. Which one of you wears yellow slippers? I don't
That's an Iron Fist joke.
Oh, ballet slippers.
I guess that would be me if I'm Dan.
Yes. All right. Richard, I think you can answer this question and give Steven some good news. Are you coming out to California Comic-Con this year?
Yes, I am. I am looking forward to it. Yeah.
I think a few people are coming from our little orbit, right?
Yeah, it should be fun. And we're coming to STCC too, so it's going to be. John and I were talking about other cons too, maybe like Emerald City, and New York. So we'll see.
We are going to try to do Baltimore, Chicago, Emerald City. We're going to go on the road this year. We're taking the show on the road, so get ready. Comic Boom. We talked about the Wizard number image cards. Yes, I remember that. Remember Hero Illustrated? I actually preferred Hero Illustrated to Wizard.
Oh gosh, what was that? There was another magazine that was against Wizard too. I can't think of it.
Overstreet had one too that they tried. Brian says, "Have a great New Year." Thanks, Brian.
Hey, Brian. Happy New Year.
Listen to Spider's Swag. Change your motto to shooting stuff out, not dribbling. I agree.
Oh boy, yeah. Feel free to use that as a commercial.
Yeah, just take a clip of me saying that and put it on a loop. Brucifer, why are DC Universe logo variants so hard to find? Because they were sold like at Hallmark stores and Toys R Us in the 90s when comics were just kind of on a downslide. So there's not a lot of them out there. When you find them, they're beat to hell. So it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, and there's a lot of competition for the ones that are in good quality too. So
yeah. Agreed. All right. Swag says it's a great t-shirt idea. Just saying. All right. We're going to keep the chat going, but we're going to bring on a couple of people. One that you know, and one that is, I think it's his first time on. He's never been on before, has he?
I don't think so. No.
All right. First of all, everybody say hi to Evan. We all know Evan. We love Evan.
Hi, guys.
There we go. How's that?
How we doing?
Good. We are talking a lot of people talking about DC. We'll get to that in a second. But
sounds good.
First, let me welcome our first-time guest to the show. You've heard us refer to him, I don't know how many times on this podcast, is friend Forrest. That's how he's referred to often. You know him on Instagram as DD Comics Fan. The DD does stand for Daredevil. It does not stand for It is our friend Forrest. What's going on?
Hello, boys. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hi, Forrest.
Crappy audio.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not that bad.
No.
By the way, it is literally agony sitting backstage, listening to things and going, ugh.
All right.
I have something to say.
Someone had asked about Dark Crisis 7.
Yep.
So, Evan, I'm sure out of the four of us, you're the only one that's read that.
Yep.
Fire away.
Yeah, no, we talked about it in the last live session. It was one of my top 3 things of the year. You know, it's funny, the Crisis stuff. You made a comment that made me laugh when we got together last time. You know, remember when Spider-Man used to fight muggers? Well, Crisis is like the opposite in every way. Every time there's a crisis, there's some like...
Hold on a second. Forrest, stop shuffling.
Hold still.
It's the opposite in every way, you say.
It's so over the top, like DC. Uh-oh.
Wow. That's super noisy.
Oh, is that noisy?
Yeah.
Is that
actually
worse?
It sounds okay. It's just there's lots of, it doesn't shut off when you're not talking. So just mute yourself when you're not talking. Mm-hmm. There you go. It sounds much better now. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say,
something.
Anytime there's a crisis thing, you know, there's red skies, there's multiverse, there's like a million billion things going on. It was a nice way to introduce to the DC universe basically a license for DC to do whatever the hell they want forever and ever. Because now, instead of 52 universes, now there's like an infinite number of infinite universes. And so,
Wait
I
a minute.
mean, they go ahead.
A multiverse that they've done before?
Not like this. Like now they can do the Stan Lee universe and the Batman 66 universe and the Batman 80s universe, and they can do whatever the hell they feel like anymore. And nothing has to be interconnected ever.
And, pre-Crisis, they had a gazillion different universes, and to me, this is just resetting it back to pre-Crisis and having different, and to me, there's a reason why they did Crisis. I mean, they were trying to consolidate. So do you think they're going to do that again, or they're just going to try to stick with this multiple universe thing?
You never know. It could be another writing, 20 years from now, it's going to be different guys at DC, and they might make that decision. But honestly, I love, as much as I love the original Crisis, and I have every issue and I've read them a million times, I never liked the smashing together of the universes because things didn't make any sense anymore. Like, how was there a Justice Society in the 50s, but now there's a Justice League, but the Justice Society is still around? They should be like 1,000 years old, right?
Don't get started on Black Canary being her mom.
Totally. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Like it was like they had to force it together. But anyway, so Dark Crisis was really well written. It was nice to see Pariah as a villain. He doesn't ultimately wind up being the big bad, but he's big bad enough. I don't want to give too much away, but there's a nice moment with Deathstroke and Nightwing, and to me, I thought it was cohesively well written. It didn't have a million billion tie-in issues through all the other lines like AXE did, or how they always try. Or God, Inferno 2. You guys were talking about it. I was screaming because I wanted to make comments, but every other comic has a they're not calling it Inferno, Dark Web, excuse me, tie-in. So no.
There's Daredevil fighting a vacuum cleaner.
That's right.
And it's one of my favorite books. So,
really?
Well, because I started reading when Ann Nocenti was writing, so Ann Nocenti's my favorite. So
I do love Ann.
I do too. Love her.
Impossible task of following Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli on Daredevil. Impossible. And she had her own voice. It was a unique take. It was interesting. Sometimes you were like, what the hell? Daredevil fights Ultron. What? Daredevil fights Mephisto. Huh?
Those writers hate it when the big wigs come in and shove an event down on them, and they tell them, oh no, you have to do a book that ties in. And they're like, but I have the story to tell. So now I have to do an issue of fighting vacuum cleaners when I really want to tell my story. They do what they can. They do what the best they can.
The menace of Dyson.
But no, Dark Crisis was great. I highly recommend it. I thought it was fantastic. Now, if you're new to DC, don't start there. Oh my God,
is that part of the point?
Yeah, but there are so many beats of so many characters you just may not know right off the rip. That's why the new 52 was fantastic, because it gave everybody a starting point. Yeah. This is not a starting point event.
What do you think of that and 125 on the soft reboot with Chip Zdarsky?
It's good. It's fine.
Okay, there is a warm, rave review.
But now that you're talking about Batman, I did want to chime in on the Henry Cavill thing, because I get the love for Christopher Reeve. Here's my point. As long as people are doing right by the characters and people love them, I'm all for it. I'm not a Christian Bale fan. Was not a huge fan of his Batman. But I love that people love Christian Bale. But I think we can all agree that George Clooney sucks as Batman. As long as people like the actors who are playing the characters, please, by all means, love them. We don't all have to like the same people, but when somebody does it poorly, it's not good.
Speaking of Chip Zdarsky, Forrest, this is for you. Guillermo wants to know if you've been reading Zdarsky's new Daredevil run. Loves his Batman too.
Unfortunately, no, I haven't read it yet.
It's really good.
It is on my list.
Oh my goodness!
I've been so busy with work, I haven't read anything.
Okay,
it's really good.
Last year and a half.
This is a man who has a complete set of Daredevil from 1 on, and then another complete set, and is working on a third complete set,
including variants.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, Daredevil, The Woman Without Fear was really good. This run of Daredevil is really good. It's good stuff.
I will tell you, Chip is on my list of current writers that I enjoy. I love this Howard the Duck. I loved Mark Waid and Chris Samney on Daredevil. I kind of miss them. I haven't read Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil yet. I need to do that because I do like Chip. First of all, say hi to Jay the Collector.
Hey, Jay.
Benjamin says there's some drama about The Rock supposedly unfollowed WB. Yeah, someone fires you, I would unfollow him too.
Yeah, he's angry.
What a just ball of yuck.
Gunn better pull some magic out of his rear end for this because he's causing a lot of consternation in the fan base.
Yeah.
It better be awesome. That's all I got to say.
As awesome as the Stilt Man in the MCU.
Oh, yes, please.
I mean, the legs were in an episode of the original Daredevil series.
I see you desperately looking for a Stilt Man cover.
Well, it's right there.
There you go. By the way, look at Forrest's Daredevil wall. It is impressive.
It is impressive.
It's very cool. Well, part of you guys being here tonight, I asked you guys to pull a couple of recent books and acquisitions for a little show and tell. Forrest, why don't you show us one of your books first?
Whoa, wait a minute. Can you see there? It's War Series or Special War Series number 4. It's the first appearance of Judo Master. So a 9.6. I couldn't get the 198 that's out there. So
wow, it's a 9.6 Charlton from 1966.
That's
yes.
amazing.
That is amazing. That is
And
that quality.
it's white pages also.
Oh wow.
Okay, first of all, Charlton books never had white pages, even when they came off the press. So I'm calling bull on that one.
And luckily I bought this at like the end of 2020, I think. So it was like $300.
Wow, that is crazy. You got a little bit of glare. There you go. 9.6. I've never seen. You said there's only 198.
Yeah, there's 198. There's 2 9.6s.
Where'd you get it from? Do you remember?
I think I got it from like Comic Connect or
Did you buy it?
someplace.
You bought it slabbed.
I bought it slabbed, yeah.
Wow. You gonna take it out and try to press it to a 9.8?
No. This is good enough for me.
Yeah.
You sure? Well,
I cannot believe that guy's costume is the same. Still.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
cultural appropriation.
Wow.
Forrest says Marvel is setting up an event with DD versus the Punisher. Punisher is working with the hand, and DD and Elektra the fist.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
look here. That my baby.
Yeah, it's Tink.
I found Tinkerball hairs all over my stuff when I got it.
To be clear, the Punisher is not working with the hand; he's leading it. But yeah,
Who he's leading that? Oh, wow.
Frank Castle branching out. Evan, show us a book, please.
so I don't have like So I just picked this up today, but I wanted to show you guys because I really love the cover. So this is the variant cover of the latest Detective Comics, but I love the. He's got Santa in the background there, dropping off the Batmobile, the Bale Batmobile. I thought that was cute.
Abby was going to ask you, what do you think of Brave and the Bold?
The new one or what's coming with it?
Yeah.
I have not. It hasn't come out yet, correct? But the direction that they're leading it, I haven't heard a whole ton about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But I did want to show you guys this because look what I found. I showed this to Rich when he was over at the house not too long ago. We were talking a lot.
Doing round robin. We'll come back to you.
Okay.
Save it. Yeah. No, don't
save
spill it. Yeah,
I'll
don't
save
spill
it.
it. Richard,
will.
you got Tinkerballs. You want me to show one first?
Please put Tink down. Okay.
Oh no!
But you were getting kisses and everything.
Yes.
Exactly. Yell at Richard.
All right. You talked about Howard the Duck. I am a big Howard the Duck fan. I'm also a big Gwenpool fan. So here is
The Ron Lim.
It's a Ron Lim variant. It's a 9.8. I probably overpaid for it when I bought it a couple years ago, But it's there's a resurgence of interest in Howard the Duck because we may see him in the MCU at some point.
Sorry, Richard. Do me a favor. Turn off Portrait when you're done showing that book because
Okay.
it's blurring it out.
Yeah, it is blurring it out. Yeah,
For your next one, just turn off Portrait, and I'll
Yep.
show one here. How much you pay for it? Do you remember?
they paid $700 for it. Yeah.
It is amazing that all of us have been around to see Gwen Stacy live and die. Who knew she was going to turn into like
I know.
a variant monster with all these different versions of her? It's so weird.
I say it all the time. She was boring. She was not an interesting character. She was a blonde, pretty girl.
But then they retconned her to have sex with Norman Osborn, and they had the Goblin twins.
Gross. Gross. DPG says live again. He can't keep up. That's why you got to hit that notification bell, DPG.
That's right.
My book, my first book tonight is every episode of Dark Shadows, one person per episode has to say the following line. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Something's moving. Something. So this is my Dark Shadows number 1. Eric Anderson, if you are in the chat, mine does not have a poster, and I know I keep kicking the tires on your beautiful 9 slab.
I thought that was you had finally pulled the trigger on one that has.
I held it in my hands when I was in Ohio last week, and it was a bummer. Forrest, you got your mic on. I think you're going to say something about this.
Oh, no, I had one in my hands in Toronto 2 weeks ago, and I was all excited, and the guy's like, oh, it doesn't have the poster. I'm like, well, then John doesn't want it, and I gave it.
I don't want it. I need the poster. This one doesn't have a poster, but I did not pay a lot for it. I've had it.
Were you at a store in Toronto? Was it Silver Snail?
No, it was. I don't even remember the name. I was at 2 or 3 different ones, but
Love Silver Snail. Oh,
I've never been there. I don't
that's
think
great.
so.
Gwen Spider says Gwen died of dullness. Agreed.
right.
Vexter needs that Howard the Duck book. He loves Gwenpool.
It's so weird.
Yeah. This is interesting. Benjamin says he's surprised there haven't been any Kevin Conroy variant covers. Probably coming soon. Production takes some time. Somebody's got to draw it and get it out there. I wonder if lawyers are afraid of name and likeness.
At least he got to play Batman in live action once before he passed.
Tell everybody how.
The Arrowverse Crisis.
There you go.
Yeah, he played evil dark Batman.
Sure.
Crippled evil dark Batman. Yes, I got that right.
Forrest, show us your next book.
Whoop. Here we go.
I sense a theme.
Yes. I'm also a judo player, so I'm big into the judo books. So this is Judo Joe from, was it 53, 52?
Oh, wow.
But it was just a 3-run series. And I have 1, 2, and 3, but only 1 and 3 slabbed. I need a 2. So this is the highest graded number 1. And then this is the highest graded number 3.
Oh, really? That's the highest at all total?
Yep.
You just need the highest graded number 2.
Yep. And then everything will be good. So if anybody has a Judo Joe number 2, please let me know. I have one, but it's like a 2-0, I think.
You have absolutely zero competition in this area. So
Yes, I know. That's why I brought those out.
as someone who, buys crap like that, I feel you. When you say you're a judo player, is that how it's referred to?
Yeah, because judo is a sport because after we defeated the Japanese, they weren't allowed to do martial arts anymore. So judo became a sport. So you're a player. Yeah.
Who knew that?
You're a player.
Cool.
Yeah.
A player.
We are learning and sharing tonight. Evan, before we go to you, I want to answer this question from Frog Brawler. What do we think about specking on buying Aftershock books, knowing what we know now? As someone who has bunny masks and kaiju scores waiting to be sold, I'm going to sell them as soon as possible. Anything else?
Yes, me too. I have a whole bunch of bunny masks I need to get rid of.
I mean, the movies were optioned. The properties were optioned. It doesn't mean something's going to happen, especially when litigation starts and rights become entangled and dump.
Yeah, look at Mark Millar. He had several properties optioned.
Oh, yeah.
option, and I'm still waiting for them to show up.
Forrest, Kilted Corgi, just checked. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Evan, it's your next book.
Thank
No, I was
you.
going to say, so I haven't done a lot of acquisitions, but I did find something that I had completely forgotten I had to show Rich when he was over here. We were talking about all the DC Marvel crossovers when we were together last time that unfortunately we're not getting these days. But I found this.
Oh, written by
God, who is this written by these days?
Cheater.
Who is it?
James Shooter.
It is Jim Shooter. Oh my God, it's right there.
you
But
know,
look at that. And this is hilarious because the bad guys are Dr. Doom, not a Spider-Man villain, and Parasite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They had
Well,
to find somebody who could kind of keep up with Superman, I guess.
It beats Batman and the Hulk, where the villains are the Joker and the Shaper of Worlds.
Right.
a little bit of a power difference.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. But yeah, she's not in good shape. But oh my God, my father got me this when I was a lad.
They took turns. DC did the first one,
Mhm.
Superman, Spider-Man. Then Marvel did the second one. And they went back and forth. That was the deal, is they would take turns. The Marvel ones were always better. Bat Signal says evening. Thank you. James Sanchez, love Bunny Mask. Great. Sell them. Richard, your next book.
All right. Local comic book store had a 50% off sale. John
And Forrest.
and raided the store before I got a chance to get there. I went through their boxes and I found some good gems. I got a number of them here. I'm a big Dave Stevens fan, and I haven't even had a chance to rebag these, but they had a Mr. Monster, which is this gorgeous
Oh my
Dave's
gosh.
cover.
I didn't even know he did a cover for Mr. Monster.
Yeah,
And you're lucky I didn't see that, Richard, or I would have bought that also.
no, you would have.
Me too.
Yeah, it was $8, so it's cost me $4. These are hard to get. I mean, Dave Stevens is a great artist who died way too young, and the pieces of his work that are out there are prized by collectors. So I was glad to have this. Is one book that I don't have of his, so I'm glad to add it to the collection.
Vadim says yay, and Zach says hell yeah. Stevens rocks. Agreed. My next book is gonna blow all of you away. I don't think I've ever shown this on the show. I don't think you guys even know about it. It is probably one of the most underrated, soon to explode books because it is Thanos related. It is Kazar versus Thanos.
Speaking of power variables,
Yeah, a little bit. That's like Jubilee versus
Galactus.
Yeah.
This is one of those things you look at it and it's so ridiculous on the surface. And then you see it was written by Mark Waid and drawn by Andy Kubert. And it's actually, the story, surprisingly enough, makes sense when you
When
read
did it come out?
This came out in the late 90s, like 97, 98.
I was just going to say it feels like a 90s thing. Yeah.
What, did they play chess or something? I mean, how do you come?
How many did you check out the pouches to spikes ratio on the?
The best part is, he's attacking Thanos with a knife.
Yeah, of course. That's all he has. Or the saber tooth. That's it.
Womp. Diener is blown away by my. Thank you, Diener. I'm glad you agree. At least it's not Squirrel Girl. Oh, what? James Sanchez read my mind.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Don't make me go down and get my Marvel team up with Aunt May and Spider-Man versus Galactus because I'll get it.
Comic Boom. Wade can write in. I agree. Mark is great. Before we move on, Steve Bradley, Aunt May versus the Living Tribunal.
Close. It was Galactus. She was his herald, and her name was Golden Oldie.
Oldie.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my favorite. Yeah, that's a great.
Richard, have you seen the Mike Del Mundo variant from Miles Morales #1? That's a lot of M's.
Oh, I don't remember. I think I've seen that one. To be
I
honest with
don't know
you,
that one
I haven't
either.
seen it.
yeah,
Forrest, what's your next book? What's your show off a little bit, please?
I could look it up.
Oh, you are a
Oh
B-word.
man.
Oh, okay. For those that don't know, we are all of us are men of a certain age. So,
Class of '86, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm the youngest at 89.
Forrest has to go now.
Yeah, so I think Richard and I were at the local comic book shop, or not the shop, at the convention, and this was on the wall, and I couldn't pass up H.R. Puffin Stuff #1. So
How nice is it? What grade do you think?
it's very nice. It looks like it's at least a 9.4, and I haven't pressed it yet. So
You know, I want that like more than anything that we've seen tonight, more than Kazar versus. And you know, I have a Lance Link #1 9.0.
yes, I was with you when you bought it. I should have bought it.
That's right. And that Vadim says that show totally creeped me out as a kid.
A little bit.
If you dropped a little acid, everything was good.
Yeah, but you had to like get through that show so you could get to Sigmund the Sea Monster.
Sea Monster, that's right.
Sigmund, yeah.
Talk about friends. All right, Evan, what's your next book?
All right, we made fun of this last time we were together too. Ready for this?
Oh, Dave Cockrum.
Sure.
I love it.
You know, the sad thing is these characters are actually pretty cool and actually pretty unique. And it never got, I think it was supposed to be a springboard for an ongoing, and it never happened. But the characters in here are pretty sweet. One of them is clearly Phoenix, but the rest of them are all pretty different. I was kind of bummed out that never went anywhere because
I think he did something with him with Pacific Comics as well, because he owned
Did he?
that. The issue was, I was just reading this in the X-Men Companion, which came out from Fantagraphics in the early 80s, right when Dave Cockrum was back on X-Men. After
yep.
interview with him, and Starjammers. He was pissed that he gave up Starjammers for the X-Men, that he didn't own it. So the Futurians are like,
Yeah, this guy is a little Corsair right here.
Exactly.
That guy.
It's a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but boy, it wouldn't be a Dave Cockrum book without swashbuckler boots and sashes.
and Phoenix, apparently.
Timothy, thank you, Timothy, for checking. Lodestone published.
Oh, okay.
I knew somebody
Was
else.
it only one book though? Because I was hoping for an ongoing.
It might have been planned as an ongoing, and orders weren't there.
Yeah, maybe.
Timothy has it, and everyone's giving their classes.
Yeah,
84,
class of '83.
whatever.
Very nice.
You're the old man of this group.
I am the old man. Pretty much every group.
All right, Grandpa, show us your next one.
All right, these next books date back to 1966, back when I was in high school. I love these books. Again, I bought these books at the comic book sale where you got them for half off, and they are all different issues of Marvel Collectors comics. These are just priceless. If you like to read the original story in a format that's similar to like, for example, here's Fantastic Four #3. The story is in this book. You get to read it on newsprint with the crappy 4-color printing and the musty smell that you would get if you read a real Fantastic Four #3. These books are fabulous to experience these stories in a way that you just can't read with omnibus or reprints, things like that. You know, and they're inexpensive. This was like $4.
That cover is funny. Show that cover. Obviously, a redrawn Jack Kirby Dr. Doom. His face is hysterical.
Yeah.
Did you ever notice his face on that cover? It's like,
It's not good.
It does look quite odd.
It's not good.
Yeah, it is not the greatest.
exactly.
But yeah, you know, it's a great. You know, I bought these to read. I'm going to open up and read them. And again, this book dates back from, this one's 1967, I think. So yeah, I mean they're period books, and at a reasonable price, I can read the original stories, and they're somewhat collectible too. So the price.
I've always appreciated. Do you remember Classic X-Men when that came out?
Yep, I had
It was a way to read old books that you couldn't afford, when you were a kid. It was great.
And
I love stuff like that.
The new John Bolton backups in the back that kind of fleshed out things that happened.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I'm surprised X-Men Classic X-Men, it doesn't. Issue 1 does well because it's got that iconic Art Adams cover. But yeah, that's crazy. I got some chat stuff here to catch up on. Richard, that Howard the Duck Limb variant had a last sale of $1,200. So
nice.
Don't feel too bad.
Very good.
some loser named Kim Basinski says, "Oh my gosh, it's a Cleveland Crow." Hi, that's my sister.
Hi, Kim.
Yeah.
Hi, Kim.
Belated birthday yesterday was Kim's
Oh
birthday.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Happy
right. Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Yeah, there you go. Richard hates digitally produced comics.
I don't know if I say hate is a good.
I disagree. We've had this discussion many times. Rich has been, I remember a time when you thought that that's the way things should go.
Yeah, I read comics digitally. You know, if I buy new comics,
Me too. I don't read. Yeah. I gotta have it on my iPad in bed. I can't read a physical book anymore. Number one, because I hate wearing my glasses.
And what was the Iron Man that was the digital one that came out? It was a graphic novel. That's right.
Crash. Yep.
I have that in the back room somewhere.
By the same guy that did Shatter for First Comics.
Oh,
yeah.
Shatter. That's
Yeah.
2 Shatter references in like a
I
month.
I know.
I have 2 books to show that are very similar that we don't show enough on the show, and I thought this would be a good time. Kirby, you know, everybody knows I love Jack Kirby. Anyone that watches this podcast, listens to it, Kirby. 2 things that in the Marvel era that he does not get enough attention are the romance books and covers he did and the Westerns. Well, 3. Let's count the war stuff too. So I always go out of my way to get Kirby related stuff, even the romances. There's Love Romances, number 88.
Mhm.
It's, you know, he's obviously a Kirby cover. Yesterday's Kisses. My darling, you're here. I knew I'd find you. I knew it. No, you little fool. Come back. Does that ever work when you call someone a little fool? You
No.
little fool.
I call my wife that all the time.
And it's good. I'm glad my sister Kim is here because she'll appreciate this next one. This is the last issue of Love Romances from 1963, issue 106, which features My Sister, My Enemy.
So over the top.
So Love Romances, I used to own the highest graded copy of 106. It was an 8.5, and I sold it in the Big Purge.
Mm.
Kim got a kick out of that. My Sister, My Enemy.
Yeah, I just realized I don't know where I put it. A book I just bought recently. I would like to show off, but
Oh, well, you want to go get it? Because Forrest has more.
all right, yeah, Forrest, you go.
Go for it.
All right. So going along with the
Oh my
theme of
God.
just Charlton's,
Grape Ape.
the
Yes.
Great Ape #1. So
Outstanding. I try
Again.
to explain these shows to my wife. She's significantly younger than I am.
Charlton. Yep.
I mean, the cartoon show too, right?
Oh, yeah.
And wasn't he a part of Laugh Olympics? He was
Yes.
in that too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Great babe. Great babe.
He was awesome. So I couldn't pass this up. So
You have shown 2 Charlton books tonight, and I think that's 2 more Charltons that have ever been featured on this show ever.
yeah, well, I also have a Harris and a gold key in the back.
What
We've
was
done
that?
Charlton's before.
Oh, I mean Harvey, not Harris. Harvey.
I know I've done the first question. I think I featured that before.
Yes.
Yes.
It's too bad Alan Moore didn't take Grape Ape and put him in Watchmen.
Forrest, Timothy's got Great Babe 1, but number 2 is non-existent. Do you have number 2?
I do not. I just got this. I also got this one. I got that HR Puffin stuff at the same show. So
Awesome. Did you find your
Yeah.
book, Richard? Okay, all right. We'll get to you in a second. Evan,
Oh,
what do you
well,
got?
wait a second. I have a
Go ahead.
question for Evan real quick.
Yeah.
I used to love reading DC. So when I stopped
What
back in the I had kids and got a life.
We're asking Evan.
Oh,
But anyway, so I've been looking to get back in. I just don't know where to jump in. So
Yeah.
but the last thing I read was Impulse.
Apparently, Dark Crisis is a great jumping on.
Yeah, I was going to
I
say.
heard that earlier.
No, but the stuff that's going to start coming out now after Dark Crisis is probably a good place to start because the Justice Society #1 was last week, and I got the foil cover for that because foil cover. So that's starting back up, and so they're starting to make sense of the Huntress, who has one of the worst origins ever, and then so all the Justice League who died during Dark Crisis and came back, and now the books that are starting to roll out. They just did a John Stewart one-shot Richard that came out yesterday, so I would recommend getting that. New Action Comics. I have it here. I haven't read it yet. So like this is
Batman 125 was advertised as a jumping on point.
Yep. So this is probably a really good time to start dipping your toe back in the water, because now the Omniverse is together. The only thing that might throw you off is the Justice League Incarnate. So I'll explain. They're the Justice League of the entire Omniverse. So there's Captain Carrot is a member.
Oh, I have Captain Carrot #1.
I have the whole run. I have.
It's only a 9.6 though.
I have dupes of the whole run, which is depressing. But and then President Superman is the leader, and Barry Allen's on that team. Anyway, that's the one team that might throw you off a little bit. But the rest of the series are all starting to jump off now.
Thank you, Zach.
Which part is stupid?
Thank you.
All right. I stopped reading Batman and Detective Comics a long time ago, so maybe this is a chance to start reading again.
Is Super Twink a good jumping on point?
You get to another episode.
Of course you did. I would have been disappointed.
What is your next book, Evan? Do you have another one?
Yeah. So somebody was talking about meeting at the Nine of Clubs. That's where Richard and I met. And then I met John through Richard. So the Nine of Clubs is kind of the focal point of a lot for the three of us. But I've been a goth DJ for a long time, and was in a goth band for a long time too. So anybody want to guess what book I'm going to pull out?
I don't want to spoil it for everybody. I know exactly what you're going to. It's from Innovation. Oh, The Crow. I thought you were going to pull out Innovation Interview with a Vampire #1.
The Crow. I do have that too. Though. Yeah, of course I do.
Tell everyone the name of your band. Get a plug. Get two.
Lestat.
And your current band.
She Won Him Too. Very different. Not a goth band. So more like a alternative electro dance duet. But The Crow. Big, obviously, in my lexicon. Movie was great. Lots of mystery surrounding it. They've tried to remake it, and I wish they would stop. But yeah, so I just had to show that one off.
While we're talking DC, Evan, I have a question.
Yep.
There was a Black Label Swamp Thing #1 that came out last year, and then it got canceled, and then all of a sudden they've resolicited #2 again or something. What the heck happened? Do you know?
Yeah, the Black Label was supposed to be. Do you remember what was their adult? Was Vertigo kind of like a Vertigo thing where it's like a more adult content, but Black Label was supposed to be hardcore, right? So it didn't really take off, and it kind of went away. And I would love for them to bring it back, because DC is really good at doing horror, right? Like Animal Man was really good. That was a terrifying run. They've got the Justice League Dark, and they introduced Upside Down Man, who is a frightening villain. Like, they should lean into that stuff. So I hope you're right. I hope they do bring it back. The show was really well received, and then they did nothing with it. Like,
well, they canceled it.
That's what I mean, though. Like, they didn't continue on. But that happens a lot with like one season and done kind of stuff. But it was really good.
Yeah, exactly, Benjamin.
There you go. Yep.
Nunya can sum up DC Black Label in one word: Batwing.
Hey, Spider-Man Noir gave us the spider penis, so I don't want to hear about it.
No, what is with DC? They canceled Swamp Thing, which is horrible. They made the entire Batgirl movie, and they didn't release it.
Well, I mean, the whole point of hiring Gunn, and God forbid, I forget the other guy's name, and I keep forgetting it because he's not James Gunn. Like, the whole reason to bring those guys in is to stop this from happening. The problem is it's like a guillotine and a tree chipper right now, and they're not lightly coming into it. Like, they're just chopping as much down as they can, which makes me nervous, because Doom Patrol season this year was really good. Please don't stop Doom Patrol. Titans is getting better with every season. Please don't stop Titans. Like, I'm terrified of the things that are in play. If they were smart, just like Dark Crisis, they could take the Flashpoint movie and springboard the next iteration of the DC universe? Is that what's going to happen? I don't know, because Ezra Miller is a piece of crap. So, like,
Yeah. Well, he's definitely not going to be a part of any future that DC.
no, but they can make it so that he disappears and becomes the next actor. You know what I mean? Like, this is the great way for them to take advantage of the situation, because that's what Flashpoint did. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. I wish Gunn was handling this. Well, and then to make matters worse, people are questioning why Gunn is doing what he's doing. And his answer is, I don't care what you guys say. Whatever you complain about isn't going to affect my creative decisions. It's like, oh God, that's the worst thing you can tell fans,
Yeah.
right?
It's Elon Musking up DC.
Has anyone learned from the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer situation? Like, fans complained, they fixed it, everybody loved it. Like,
Evan, you got to answer this question for me.
oh God,
Did Blue Devil appear in the Swamp Thing TV show?
I think he did. I think he might. Yeah, I do love me some Blue Devil.
Yes, I know. Gary Cohn is supposed to come on the show eventually.
I love Blue Devil.
By the way, we have a book for everyone.
Oh, hi, Rafi.
Hey, Rafa.
Hey, Rafa.
Yeah, DC announced Henry coming back, then fired him.
Yeah.
No, they did worse. They put him in Black Adam,
Yeah,
and everybody freaked out, and then they fired him after everybody got excited.
Yes. And
So-
then The Rock turns around and unfollows them. So, yeah. God, what
I just showed that movie to my 9-year-old son. He loved Black Adam. Loved it. He's been carrying the Black Adam doll around for the past like 2 days.
Mhm.
F off Liptard says, whatever.
Which comment did we make that is that reference to?
I don't know. Whatever. Kim says, "Baka, Raphael." Yeah. Richard, go ahead and show us your next while I go grab another one, because I only grabbed a few.
Okay. Yeah, John's talking about romance books. I'm not a big romance book guy, but I am a big fan of deals. So I came across this. eBay has been one of those places where if you hit the right book at the right time, you can get a good deal. Here I've got Venus.
Wait a second. What is happening? Are you showing a Venus book?
Yeah, Venus number 7. The beautiful painted cover from 1949.
Forrest, were you aware of this?
Huh?
Forrest, were you aware of this purchase?
Yes.
And where was I? Why is Richard holding a Venus book?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you were on that text chain when he said he got it. He won it.
Yep. $180.
Is that DC?
I don't think Venus. This is
That's not the DC Venus? Okay.
no. This is Atlas.
No.
Evan's
Oh,
got
Atlas.
Evan's got to go. He just asked. Right,
She's in both.
Yes.
Everybody wave bye to Evan. Thank you for joining us.
This is this run has had a kind of a dual life. Starts off as a romance storyline and then morphs its way into more of a horror storyline in later issues. So this is still the romance stuff.
A horror storyline? Is that what you said?
Yeah. But anyway, I've always wanted to get some of I wanted to get into this line. So and for $180, it was a good price. So and yeah, it's 2.5 off-white pages. Looking at it, it could use a press. I could see wrinkles in the cover, and one day I may get brave enough to crack it open and put it in a humidity chamber for a bit, and then give it a good press.
And send it to me. The end. Everyone has a happy ending. Happy ending. Venus.
Mm.
I have a really cool book that, it's not worth a lot, but it's something from my childhood that I have fondness for. I loved, Kirby. I love Machine Man, and then Kirby left, and they canceled Machine Man with issue 9. But Machine Man apparently sold well enough that they revived it a few months later. This time with Steve Ditko drawing it. This is the first Marv Wolfman and Steve Ditko.
Oh, I didn't know Wolfman wrote it. That's great.
Creative team on Machine Man from issue 10 through 14. And then with issue 15, Tom DeFalco came on to finish the run. This little Machine Man run is fun. Wolfman takes it into like a serious woe is me, how can I fit in humanity kind of way. Then Tom DeFalco comes in and says, hey, I'm working with Steve Ditko, I'm going to do classic 60s Marvel. And all of a sudden Machine Man has a sense of humor, and he's quipping and has a really fun rogues gallery with a mystic that's not Doctor Strange, and they introduced the Hobgoblin. And the last issue is weird because it's like, I don't know if they knew they were getting canceled, but they had Hobgoblin and a Frank Miller cover. It was crazy. So I love Machine Man.
Yeah,
Right.
John, you and I are both big fans of Machine Man's run in Next Wave too.
Yes. Fleshy humans. And someone is really intent on being, I don't know what's going on.
Trollish.
I don't know. It's just weird.
Did he aggressively give you $1?
I think so. No. All right. Richard, or sorry, not Richard, Forrest, what is your next book?
Say another
Ooh.
classic Gold Key. Say, unfortunately, it's only a 4.5, but
No, those gold keys, they're hard to get in high grade, especially that one.
Oh yeah.
and then I also have the little big book.
Oh,
wow.
cool.
68 also. So
Okay. For those out there, that's Space Ghost, not Space Ghost Coast to Coast. They are two different things.
Well, one had to come first.
Yeah.
that's right.
Space Goes Coast to Coast. I remember that. All right, Evan, you got another book?
Yeah, I'm going to go with another Marvel graphic novel, and then I'm going to run downstairs and get another one. Here we go. Ready?
I think this is our last round.
Oh, that's fine.
It's been an hour and 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
New Mutants. First appearance of the gang.
Is that first print or?
Yep. So it's probably not in the best shape because, again, I read it a million times. But to me, it was so in many ways the run of the X-Men with Wolverine and Storm and Colossus, that was pre my getting into comic books, right? Because I started with X-Men 133. So I didn't get to experience that drastic change of the X-Men. This was my drastic change of the X-Men. Introducing new kids in X-Men costumes with different costumes, and you don't know who they are because you've never met them before. I mean, outside of Kitty Pryde, this was like the first fresh batch of X-Men for me. And so that was exciting for me, as a new comic book fan, because to me, it had always been the same X-Men. So I thought that was very cool. And they're still kicking. They have a new run. The new book is fine. It's really good.
Mark, you're with some weird collectors here.
Yeah.
The Comic Boom loves it too. Everybody say hi to Nige. What's up, Nige? And New Mutants, it was a book I bought out of habit. I wish it had better art. First you got Bob McLeod, then you have Sal Buscema.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
then it all
I mean, look at Danny on this picture. She looks like she's 90 years old. Oh, it's terrible.
Richard's like Bill Sienkiewicz.
the whole Ghost Bear storyline, and
I'm like Bill Sienkiewicz, yeah.
But Sienkiewicz gave us Warlock, which is one of the coolest looking characters in comic history.
no one else can draw Warlock, in my opinion.
No,
That
they
is-
try.
That is really exclusive to him.
Yep.
So,
Say hi to Guy Forge.
hey,
And Richard, what's your final book for the night?
my final book is something I didn't expect to find. This is Forgotten Realms Homeland #1. It's the first cover appearance of Drizzt, the Dark Elf,
Oh yeah.
the Forgotten Realms storyline. This is a pretty rare book. I am a big Dungeons and Dragons fan, and this is his first appearance in comic. Drizzt is a character that is very famous, R.A. Salvatore character. And this one was Carolyn Johns has it where I bought it, rated as a 9.2, and I paid $60 for it. It was off $120 off the retail price. I've been looking for this for a while, trying to find a good copy. This is along the lines of some of the Arthur Adams variant covers that I've been looking for that are really hard to find. So yeah, came across this one. I couldn't pass it up for half off.
Brian picked one up too. Did you guys ever get the did you guys ever get the DC TSR books, like Advanced Dungeons and Dragons and Dragonlance and things like that?
I have
I never picked them up.
Yeah, I have Advanced Dungeons and Dragons #1, but I never collected it as a series back when it was out.
Yeah.
It's starting to heat up. So, there's some value in there.
Well, you got the movie coming out.
What really, where the real money is if you have, and I don't have them anymore, the original Dungeons and Dragons manuals.
I have them.
Yeah, well,
I have them.
yeah,
You know you can get them slabbed now, Evan.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Sure can.
Okay, I'll go see what kind of shape they're in.
And you can get the modules slabbed too. That's what I want. I want Tomb of Horrors slabbed because
Oh, yeah.
I'm a huge Ready Player One fan, and that is very prominent in that book.
As
And the
someone-
movie looks like it's going to be good. Cross my fingers. Unlike the last one.
The last Dungeons and Dragons movies was so bad, I went and erased it from my memory.
The bar is underground for the next one. I know.
As someone who has boxes and boxes of comic books slabbed in a plastic prison, why does the idea of slabbing a module depress me?
Why?
I don't know.
It's a book.
I know. All right. My final book of the night. I'm showing this again for a reason. I put it on Instagram earlier this week. If you're not following us on Facebook and Instagram, you're missing out. And someone wrote, "Are you sure that's a real copy of Love and Rockets?"
Okay.
Because there are counterfeits out there. And yes, I can gladly say this is a legit copy. And here's how you can tell. I'm going to show you guys. This black border here on the counterfeit one, it bleeds into here and they're the same color. If it's legit, you can see there's a marked difference there.
You can see it from here on the camera. Yeah.
There is also inside, they forgot to put their mailing address and contact info when they printed the books themselves, the Hernandez brothers. So there is a stamp of their P.O. box in here. So this one, by all looks and feels, is legit. I cleaned it. If you saw earlier this week on Instagram, I cleaned the crap out of it. It was so dirty. It looks like a different book now. I did press it. There was a little thumb indentation I pressed out. I think it's going to get 9.4, 9.6. I don't think it's going to get a 9.8, but we'll see.
Awesome. Jealous.
Good luck.
I don't
I know.
have
How long is it going to take to get it back?
It's a magazine with no fast track, so we'll see you in time for the Love and Rockets movie, 2038.
I've got a Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles #1 that has a cracked case, and I keep putting off sending it in because I know it's going to be a year before I see it again.
Yeah, but I think you might be able to get that faster than
You think?
a great. Yeah, because you're just replacing a case.
Mhm.
Let's catch up on the chat here. Vexer says he can get anything slab now. He wants to get his BlackBerry slab. I'm shocked. Kim says I was going to ask about Love and Rockets. My thumb is a 10 out of 10. Great. Benjamin was holding my breath that I didn't drop it out of the bag. Me too. I was being. And I think that is an hour and almost 15 minutes. There you guys go. There's a little bonus episode, little live. Frog Brawler, you gotta inform next of kin or the executor of your will if your submissions don't return in time. If you spill over. So there you go. Steve's like reholders don't take too long, maybe 2 months or less.
Okay. Then I have like 3 different books that I need that are magazine size. I need to send in. So
Can you believe we're sending books into CGC again, all 4 of us?
I quit for a long time now. I just refused to do it.
Yeah.
That's why I
had to
wasn't
wait.
doing it. You guys freaked me out.
I had to wait a year to get my books back. Now I can send some more in.
There you go. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks everybody in the chat. Nice, great group tonight. And everybody, let's do a little Brady Bunch.
Whoops, wrong way. All right.
Play this way.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
All right, everybody, stay